This video captures a moment from the second day of a civic protest held at the National Assembly in Abuja, where Nigerians are demanding reforms to strengthen the country's electoral process. Former Minister of Sports, Dalong, joins the protest and speaks candidly about the stakes involved in the ongoing constitutional amendment on elections. His remarks reflect widespread public frustration over past electoral controversies, particularly around the transmission of election results, and a growing insistence that free, fair, and credible elections are no longer optional but essential to Nigeria's democracy. Filmed amid a heavy security presence and heightened political tension, the interview situates the protest within a broader struggle between citizens, lawmakers, and executive power. As you watch, listen closely to how Dalong frames the protest not as a one-day event, but as part of a longer, strategic movement aimed at reshaping Nigeria's electoral future ahead of 2027.
We now cross live to the National Assembly in Abuja, where thousands of Nigerians have gathered for a second day of protests. They are demonstrating against the alleged rejection of electronic transmission of election results in the ongoing electoral reform process. All right, we have our correspondent live in Abuja. Over to you. Abidemi Sikiru, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Cynthia and Anese. Now we are here since morning, since around 8 a.m. in the morning. The protesters are here now and have been demanding for what they said, what they described as their rights, vote electronic transmission. Now, as I'm talking to you here, I'm having the former Minister of Sports, Dalong, is with me. He's joining the race today, and I want to have a shot, one or two questions with him. Sir, can you come closer here? Can you come closer, please, sir? You are here. You are joining this struggle. What can you say about it?
Yeah, I'm here to lend my support to these young Nigerians who had come out here to send a clear message to the National Assembly that free, fair, and credible election in Nigeria is no more negotiable, and that the process of amendment going on in the National Assembly must reflect the whims and caprices of the Nigerian people, as discussed as various consultation stages, and as also passed by the House of Representatives. The Senate must concur and do the needful so that we can have real-time transmission of results. That is just the beginning. We are going to police that transmission to the polling unit so that we are not outsmarted just like Mahmoud did after rigging the election, and he developed a word, technical glitch, just to tell us anybody who is dissatisfied, go to court. APC will go to court in 2027. Nobody will go to court, because after defeating them, it is them that will go to court, but not Nigerian people.
So now, this is the second day of this protest. So if your demand is not yet met, are you still proceeding on this protest?
We are dealing with somebody who calls himself a great strategist, which is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom we know very well. So dealing with such a person, we are also rolling out our strategies. We do not want to put a huge crowd here so that they will go and sponsor criminals to come and attack them, and then they now said, oh, it has turned violence. So this is growing. We are monitoring and following the process. So as the process of the amendment progresses, the crowd will also be building. So if it is passed here, we have passed stage 1. Stage 2 is there is a forest between the villa and the National Assembly where bandits used to ambush any law that is made by the National Assembly. They will mutilate it, they will distort it, they will change the content, and the president will immediately sign. So after having the National Assembly pass, we will concentrate on the forest to make sure that those who are laying ambush to ambush the law-making process, to usurp legislative powers, do not succeed. We will also ensure that we build sufficient pressure and get the assent of the president. If it is signed into law, that is the beginning of the struggle for us, because we now need to mobilize Nigerians to come out en masse to vote and to police their votes and make sure that free, fair, and credible elections is delivered in 2027.
Thank you so much, sir. Cynthia, back to the studio. Now, if you can say the background, the police officers, the security agencies are on ground to ensure that there's going to be peace, and they are barricading this area to prevent the protesters to get access to the National Assembly.
And Abidemi, we also know that the Senate is having an emergency meeting to just, on all of this today. I think it started this afternoon. What more can you tell us about what we might expect or how that fits into everything that you're seeing where you are?
Presently, now I know that they are sitting, but they have not availed us with what they are going about or what they are meeting. So after the meeting, I believe that they will brief the press.
Well said, Abidemi. Do you get any sense that the protesters might be addressed by any member of the National Assembly, just to get a sense that they're being heard? And because this is day 2, do you get a sense that might happen anytime soon?
We learned that yesterday there was an emergency meeting by the Senate concerning this struggle. But I know maybe before the end of today they will address the press. Earlier today, the former minister of sports, Amechi, also joined this protest.
Abidemi Sikiru there for us in Abuja at the protests taking place in front of the National Assembly. Thank you very much for your reporting.
The story highlights the intersection of protest politics, elite participation, and democratic reform in Nigeria. Solomon Dalong's intervention gives the protest both symbolic and strategic weight, as he bridges grassroots activism with insider political knowledge. His emphasis on real-time transmission of election results speaks directly to public distrust of electoral institutions, particularly the Independent National Electoral Commission, which he accuses of manipulating outcomes under the guise of technical glitches. Critically, Dalong's language reveals a deep skepticism towards state power, extending beyond the National Assembly to the presidency. His metaphor of a forest between the villa and the National Assembly suggests that even progressive legislation risks being distorted before becoming law. This reflects a broader concern in Nigerian politics that institutional processes are vulnerable to capture by powerful interests, regardless of public input. The protests' deliberate strategy, limiting crowd size to avoid violence while planning gradual escalation, shows a calculated response to past state tactics of delegitimizing protests through insecurity. Meanwhile, the silence of the Senate during an emergency meeting underscores the persistent gap between citizen action and official accountability. Overall, the story portrays the protest not just as a reaction to electoral reform debates, but as part of a sustained effort to reclaim democratic agency and prepare citizens to actively defend their votes in future elections.